Welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mama Pop Quilt Shop, and we're very happy to see you here today. Today, we're going to finish a 17-year-old UFO. We're not talking space objects here, no. We're talking unfinished objects. You will see behind me, we chatted about it during a live stream, and I got the pattern. You guys were so helpful. Thank you very much. It was Home and Garden Television, 2002, and it was a block of the month. It was the same house, though you could flip and reverse the house where the peak was, but each month had something a little bit different in it. So we're going to do this as a 6-week project. So this is week number 1. We're doing January and February. So I have done January, and I'm just going to hold that up right there so you can see it. Hopefully you get to see it. And I've done some embellishments, and you can tweak each block to the way you like it. I have cut my squares at 13.5 just to allow me for squaring up to 12.5 should I wish, or I can just leave it at 13. So, and I just did some zigzag in light blue to represent some snowflakes, this being the January block, and of course there's a little mailbox here, and you know, you put your windows and your tree and whatever else you want on your block. Of course the options are endless. On my first set here, I did a snowman and a weird tree on the side there, and in the February one there's a bit of a fence. I didn't do the fence for this one, but so yeah, so anyways, creation is yours. Okay, so that is the main set, and you can download it. See, it's HGTV right there. It's free, so go ahead, and the link will be below. And this was the February one. It has a heart, of course the mailbox, and then of course this has the rail fence if you want to put the rail fence in. I'm saving it for March, okay, just because it had the steps, and I put trees in the back and that sort of thing. So I went through all my scraps and just kind of picked certain colors that I would like to be for representation of January, and of course February I wanted a little red, and then I've got some little leopard print with red for the chimney, because why not? It's a little fun and funky. And then for my what did they call this? The dormer. I have a little bit of a more springy type fabric and kind of encouraging growth for the spring to come. It's got some green with some flowers. It still needs some trimming. And then I've got some blue polka dots for windows. And then I have some pink for some steps. And instead of doing a angled door here, I did a little bit of a rounded curve, because this is what I can do whatever I like. And then I have my little piece of wood for the mailbox, and I've got that lovely blue fabric for the mailbox, and I've got a heart here. I should have another one, but that had 2 hearts. Oh, there's the other one. And they're just going to kind of put one on the box and one up a little bit above. So, but for this one, I wanted it to be a little bit 3-dimensional, so I put the trees down first. So I kind of laid out where I was going to put my house, and so it would pop out a little bit like they were in the backyard sort of thing, or in the, you know, the back 40. So, and that's what we're going to do. We're just going to stitch it down. So to stabilize my fabric like this, and like this, to any of my things that I have stitched, are going to be stitching down, I just use a very lightweight stabilizer. Or this is, I think it's medium to lightweight. Well, anyways, it's all on here. I think it's a lightweight, and just zigzag stitch all the way down. I used a white thread for this one. This one I've got more pink. I did gray for the trees though, but I'm for outlining the house and the door and the steps and stuff like that, and maybe even the windows. I'm gonna use pink because I can. Haha. Alright, so to build this out, you just have to kind of think about it. I'm gonna twist it towards me so I can see it. So I'm laying it out, and of course you can move your house all the way up into the woods, or you can move it all the way down forward. It's wherever you want to place it on your block. So I had it so it was kind of the trees were being seen, though the little bit of trunks were being cut off as I was going along. And then of course here's my chimney stack. And you can be very creative with this. Put clouds in the background. On this one, I did a button, a nice clear button for the center of the door so it looked like a glass. And then I had some very sticky, you know, three-dimensional sort of dots, and I put those on to just kind of embellish it a little bit. And I'll quilt it up on the long arm, and either I'll just pick them off and put them back on, or I'll just quilt around it. So I'll make sure not to hit it with the long arm. All right, so now I'm kind of happy with where that's going. I'm going to pin this in place and the chimney stack as well before I add the door, the steps, the windows, and everything else like that. So build up from the base all the way up, okay? That's the best idea. And fun to be able to, you know, get in your scrap bin and figure out what you got for this and that, and you know, you could even shrink it or make it even a little bit bigger, the pattern. It's up to you. And you don't have to do these shapes of houses. You can make them so they're more steeple-like, or you could make the little block house. There's 100 different ways. Just have fun. So I'm finishing this project. I'm only doing one this time. But I'm finishing this project, by golly. So start off anywhere you want, because it's going to be seen all the way around, unless, well, mine covers the tree here, but usually it would be seen all the way around. I think I might start at the bottom, because I might be able to hide it a little bit with the start and stop with where the steps are going to go. So, this, oops, sorry, zigzag. My bad, whoopsies. All right, so squish this down to here. I'll make it look a little big. So it's 0.6, and then that's for the tightness of the zigzag, and then for the width of it, I have it at 3.5. So it should cover both edges just fine, and a tight enough stitch that I'll be happy that it's not going to come apart after, you know, maybe a few washes or something, if it ever gets washed. Okay, remember to stop on the outside. Of course, if you had a knee lift, this would be a perfect opportunity to utilize it. Is going around stuff like this. So make sure, you can also use the heat and bond stuff too. Like, I'm only using that because I have it. If I had heat and bond, I'd be doing the same thing, which is just cut out, peel, press, and you don't even have to do any applique stitches, but that's completely up to you. So, but this, it has to stay down, so I'm making sure it's staying. But this has been on my mind to do for a very long time, and I figured I just got to do it. I wanted to do it in 2002. It's been 17 years. It's not complicated, and I think it'd be a nice fun project to either give away to somebody for Christmas, or, you know, even just as a gift for yourself. Call it the picnic blanket, you know, because no matter what the season, you got your blanket or your quilt. Represents all the months of the year. I'm going to scoot that pin up. There we go. Making sure that the chimney is getting attached in that zigzag as I'm coming across the top of the roof. Just round by the big trunk of the tree. And I just wing these. I just cut triangles and little strips of the dark brown fabric and went from there. I just kind of made my own trees. And I thought, oh, that'd be kind of nice if they kind of stuck out in the back, you know, like out the back. And then I can leave the steps and the mailbox for the front. I didn't have to necessarily, because each house is different. It's not the same house in different months. It's not the same house for different months. It's different houses for every month. And of course, you'd use green for March, and you know, maybe some blues and for April, that sort of thing. You know, April showers, bring May flowers, that sort of thing. You know, when you think about it, you can come up with all sorts of lovely ideas. All right, so back where we started, and we will take these pins out that we're stabilizing the house, and now it's all good and stitched down. Well, I'm just going to do a little, for some reason, I have a little gap over here. There we go. Okay, fill it back up. Easy peasy fix. Okay, I know pink steps is a little weird, but you know, whatever, they're my steps. So I'm going to do the bottom one first, and then kind of overlap the top one, just so it's in between just the stitches. So, and you want it to just kind of a little be on an angle, so it kind of gives a little bit of depth to it. Okay, so we're going to stitch that one there. We're going to scoot up just a smidge. And we're going to go all the way around. Of course, you can pin this or like I said, the heat and bond. If you got it and if you find it on sale, then use it. And this is a great way to bust scraps and great way to do a project with young sewers. They can be very creative in the building of the houses and what they want in the yard, that sort of thing, right? You can put a clothesline. I think in March I have a clothesline. I don't know if that was actually in the original blog. I forgot to look. I just got January's and February's, and I figured next week we'll work on March and April's. That'll be very exciting. In no time at all, we'll have ourselves a lovely calendar quilt. Calendar quilt. Always wanted a calendar quilt. Okay, now, I was gonna say, did I lose my step already? And of course, I'm putting my step over here so I'm putting my door over here. This one was a little bit more on the center, a little off on the one side, but still. Yeah, I'll show you there. Maybe you can see it, but isn't that lovely? I think it's very cute. I like the little added stuff. Oh, minus the thread. Okay, now for this one, just kind of put it in a little placement where it looks comfortable, and it looks good, and it still gives that little bit of dimension to the house where the door is going to sit, and of course the steps to come out on. And I use the lightweight or medium to lightweight interfacing because in these sorts of layers here where you're going to have maybe 2, 3, 4 on top of each other, and especially if you had more of a flimsy, or not flimsy, but maybe not as strong as a cotton backing that I've been using, that I'm going to use for all the blocks, then you want to use that as a stabilizer too. You just don't want to put that interfacing on that as well. Okay, and just move it around. Oh, there's no pins over there. And then we'll do the door. The dormer, windows, and the mailbox. And you just gotta build it. You're building your little house that represents February. And there's always something in every month to celebrate or partake in. Okay. And of course, just trim up all the threads afterwards. I mean, if you want to do it as you go, that's completely up to you. And I know sometimes it drives people crazy, but short trip to Frussum. All right, and then there's my door. And I want to make sure it's kind of right in the middle of the placement of where my steps were. And of course, maybe I want to put it up a little bit, because if it's a step, it's a step. And then maybe it's a step up into the house. I don't want it to be tucked right underneath. So let's do a little, so it's, up a step or two. Put a pin in there. Put one way, and put pin another. Okay, just like that, and then we'll sew our little door down. And of course, you don't have to use pink thread. I'm using pink because I can and I wanna. And this is my February block. And I'll probably use a lot of green thread for March and a lot of blue thread for April, and we'll mix it all up. Why not? No one says it all has to be black or white or gray. Ain't no rules. Rules are meant to be broken. Well, some are. Some are not. Okay, I think I'm going to move the little birdie pin out of the way because I don't want it to affect my foot as it's trying to zigzag its way down. And of course you add buttons or little beads, or I have beads for doorknobs on the one behind me. I thought that would be kind of fun. I think I was going to hand quilt that one anyways. If it was 17 years ago, yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, so there we go. Now, we just want to make sure we have our windows and our dormer, and those are them and them, and let's just trim them up. I just still had to. So what I did is I laid out my interfacing, and of course, depending on which way you want your house to sit is how you place it. So if you want it to go like this way, then you trace it on top, or you trace underneath, whichever one. It's up to you. It's nice. You can visually see through it, and you just trace the shape out depending on what you want, okay? And which way you want it to go. So this is the dormer, and I'm just following the lines that I sketched out. And of course, it's got a little bit of pink in it as well, so I knew the thread would match. Okay, so there's our dormer, and we're just going to place that right where we think it should be, ish. Kind of, sort of. There we go. I think that looks okay. Just put a few pins in, and then we will stitch it down. Okay. And let's get our windows ready while we're here. And I'm just using the lines. You can shorten your window. I think I made this one a tinier square and this one was a little bit shorter. It's up to you. Don't, you know, the pattern is just a guideline. So, you know, do whatever you want to do. That's a weird angled window anyway. So, there we go. Put one there. So I trimmed my window. See, I didn't use the pattern. I used it as a guideline and then implemented my own that I thought would look better. And that's just the, you know, creativeness. There we go. Perfect. Actually, I think I want a little smaller. Just a little smaller. I like the little angle on it. There we go. Perfect. So there's that one. And then, of course, we just have the mailbox. And there's lots of bits left over for other projects. You can save that for other months. Here, let's put our... Here, let's move that down a bit. It seemed a bit high, especially if you're going to be sitting down. So let's, as you're in the living room. And this will be the window as you go up to the stairs, to the attic. Not the attic, but the upstairs. The upstairs. It's a small house for a little people. Buttons for flowers. You can make a flower bed. There's so many things, and of course there's a bunch of buttons and things already you could even just add to the projects like this. Little themed buttons. Or you can add a, you know, like a Where's Waldo sort of thing. It's in every block. You know, I saw one lady, she had it with a little ducky, and I thought that was adorable. There's a little ducky in every block, and I realized that before she actually made a comment on it. That she said that's what was going on. Okay. All right, there we go, and then we just got a window. And you can hand stitch this. You could just do an applique stitch. If you were to do it as the heat and bond, you could just do a little straight stitch all the way around, just so you know it was going to stay. You don't really even have to do a zigzag. There's lots of other decorative stitches out there. And of course, the choice of thread is endless. For sure, the endless. Okay. And we'll just do the dormer. And we are almost done this little project. Well, these two ones. And then it's got to bust out the scraps for the next two. I'm just happy I'm getting it finished. You know, it's like a sense of accomplishment. It feels really good. Feels good, man. Feels good. Don't you go nowhere, Mr. Ben. Okay, you line it back up. And in no time at all, you got the really fun project. You could probably do all the months in a weekend, really. Get all your stuff together, maybe some matching background or not. You can do it in very much layers too. Like you've got your foreground, your background, and everything else, and you're just laying out your fabrics. You could do it in that colors if you didn't have a solid. I just chose the solid because I thought it was nice and neutral and would make each house pop out on its own. That's what I was hoping for. So I changed my adventure from the first one 17 years ago, and that is allowed. You can tell him I know me and he's throwing me for a loop. It's like, right. I'm doing lots of embroidery, yes. And of course, on Saturday, at 1 p.m. Eastern. We will continue to work on the big purple Dresden quilt. I'm very excited for that. So there we go. You can see a little bit of the progress here. And I'll pin the other ones in place so you can see where I'm going to put them. Oh, here, I'll show that first so you can see, hopefully. You can see that without my arm being in the way. And then a little button for the door, or little things for the windows. You can put some curtains in there. Endless opportunity. Okay, so I think we were going to put the mailbox over here. Yeah, it was opposite of the other one. And of course, we're going to put it here. Actually, I was going to line it right up next to the house. So just touch the house. Okay, and then you want to line that up too. And we'll put a little pin in there. Keep it all in place. I probably won't do pink thread for this, but I will pin it so you can see it, and then you'll see it all done for next week. Alright, a couple little more tiny pins. Yeah, I'll change it out to maybe white. I will put red with the hearts though, or the pink with the hearts. Yeah. 2 more pins so you can see. And like I said, if you want, you can put a little fence on the side, you can put another tree, you could put a garden bed, you could put a little bush, you could put a decorative rock. Anything that you can think of, you can certainly do. Okay, so don't let it limit you. Free pattern, home and garden television website, HGTV, right here it says .com, and they're all the information is there, and we'll put a link below. Okay, so thanks everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, and I hope you partake on this. I can't wait to see some of your creations in the Mafia group. So if you want to join, it's Mama Pop Quilt Shop Mafia on Facebook group. You have to answer 3 questions to get in, and no, you cannot invite people because we want them to answer their own questions. So anybody who gets invited, you can't get in. So come join yourself. Okay, take care everybody, have a fantastic day, and we'll see you. Bye bye.